Gentleman yields back. I'll now go to Mr. Tonko for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And thank you to the ranking member for hosting this hearing, and I thank both of our witnesses for their testimony. Secretary Rodriguez, I want to make certain I understand this connection between grid reliability and energy efficiency. As you indicated in your testimony, the proposed efficiency improvements for transformers may seem small, but when you consider nearly all of the electricity generated in the country passing through transformers over the course of the long lives of this equipment, we're talking about a lot of lost energy. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
And as we've seen this summer, certain regions have struggled to maintain reliability for several reasons, including perhaps extreme heat and weather events. So we know these types of events, coupled with increasing electrification, if not properly planned for, will create greater stresses on the grid in the years ahead. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
So Secretary Rodriguez, how can reducing inefficiencies in the electricity system, whether that's line losses from transmission lines or losses from transformers, help improve overall reliability?
Your question actually is perfect because it shows a system understanding of the grid. Number one, it's how much power you need to produce, but how much power you need to produce at any given point in time is driven by two things. Number one, how much is being consumed? And that's where efficiency standards help Americans with their pocketbook, but also help to support the reliability of the grid because it helps to ensure we have adequate resources. Number two, along the way, the grid itself transports energy over long distances. Advancements in technology that we're working around in my office will help to reduce line losses, meaning less wasted energy in the transport from where it's generated to where it's delivered. All of these things support resource adequacy.
Thank you. And ultimately, if we only have one tool by which to manage the grid, it's cranking up supply, of course it will be more difficult to balance a dynamic and complex system. But when we start addressing energy demand through end-use efficiency and demand response programs, we're adding more tools to our reliability toolbox, as you indicated. And similarly, improving the grid's performance is another important tool to alleviate pressure on the grid. So I believe it is very short-sighted to prevent the department from finalizing any transformer rule in the next 5 years. Personally, I believe we should embrace this as an opportunity to begin to plan for and build the grid of the future with equipment that will enhance reliability. And because DOE's proposed rule would not go into effect for several years, there's time to build the investments necessary to build a domestic manufacturing supply chain. And we have already given DOE some tools to help. For example, the Inflation Reduction Act included the 48C tax credit, which could be used to improve and expand transformer and electrical steel manufacturing. So Secretary Rodriguez, can these incentives help ensure domestically produced, high-performing grid equipment is ready and available by the time any proposed standard goes into effect?
Yes, they can, and they are doing that.
Well, I thank you for your responses, and I believe that we need to do this in a very science-based and evidence-driven manner, and I appreciate all the work done by the department for implementing what is a huge transformational opportunity for this country. And with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.